We are a small town telling the story of our history, industry, innovation, and grit in a truly American way. Salem began life as a bustling town with numerous industries, businesses, and people who would create a complex and innovative legacy.
It's amazing just to see so much history in a downtown. Just the way the streets would have looked back in when they were first built, or the way the buildings look.
Salem has a long history of manufacturing, going back 150 years, and did everything from China to tin to boats to pretty much anything that you could think of that was centered on the Industrial Revolution of the late 1800s and early 1900s. Like a lot of small towns in the Midwest, in the mid-'80s or so, the city started to come on a little bit of a decline and some hard times.
With the regional industrial decline in the 1980s, Salem saw industry leave, taking family and friends with them. Our community was derailed.
So my family has been here for 40 some odd years, and we've seen both the city prosper and the opposite. And the city is now in a phase in which we are gaining some momentum.
We had looked in every single town all over for about the past 5 months, and we finally were like, well, let's just give Salem a try. Walls were rotting out, the ceilings were literally caving in with water dripping, and everybody on the street was just complaining that they wanted it torn down. I just fell in love like that very day. So whenever we got back home, I was just like, I think we need to start looking in Salem, and lo and behold, we found this house here on South Lincoln Avenue.
I just truly fell in love with Salem. It had everything that I was looking for. The historic architecture and the small town feel is what I really fell in love with.
We're now starting to see a resurgence both in the city and more specifically in the downtown, as we've had several people kind of step in, make some investments.
Part of the charm of our business and our cafe is the building. They enjoy having a place like this in their community, and they want more places like this, kind of that rising tide raises all ships mentality. Just a lot of opportunity for people to grow together and to sort of take that leap and take a chance on themselves and invest in themselves and invest in Salem.
About 3.5 years ago, I've moved my family back to Salem. We moved back for several reasons. One is that I grew up in this small town and I wanted my kids to have the same kind of small town mentality. We saw that Salem had a lot of assets that were underutilized. We have a building that we've purchased in downtown on a busy corner, which at one point was a bank back in the 30s. And the plan is to make those vacant spaces into green space, in addition to renovating the building to hopefully attract either a restaurant or a microbrew to the city.
This building, like many downtown, needs a lot of TLC that goes beyond the contributions of our supporters. A makeover would ensure that we could be here for another 100 years.
Hometown Takeover, this is where we need your help. Our small town is ripe for development. There is a perception that small town America is not the place to invest. But here in Salem, renovating a piece of the past is worth the reward. Salem is unique in having its own independent hospital, newspaper, police, and fire departments with a base of locally owned industry providing and producing regional, national, and global solutions and products.
In a community like this, we have so many things that we're doing right so far, and just we need that little extra to push us over the top.
More of that investment would be beneficial to the city and help us further along our path.
We're all in our own unique, different way trying to make it a better place, whether it's opening up a new shop, whether it's helping clean up the downtown, whether it is just taking care of the outside of our own houses to beautify our community. We really wanted to invest where we can, invest in our town, invest in our own house.
Salem is a city proud of its past, tireless in its efforts and energy to rebound, rejuvenate, and create a future for generations to come.
Don't you just love a small